Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. If you want to build a company with an army of ambassadors and raving fans who speak highly of you and refer you willingly, you are in the right place. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Maher.
Hey, everybody, this is Michael J. Maher with our episode of the Weekly Words of Wisdom. And I will tell you that we have a very, very special guest today. I have to give a special shout out to the Generosity Generation community. You guys have been so good to us. You've been good to Mandy. You've been good to Sherry. You've been good to me. And you've been good to each other, which is just absolutely amazing in the time. You know, special shout out to Angela Gibbons. I mean, I got the mail today, you know, and it's just so awesome. And it's like this stuff, like I teach it and it still is a wow for me when I get a handwritten note or I get a gift package or whatever it may be. And you got to really, isn't that interesting about the 7L system is that other people can know you're doing it to them and yet they love it. Whereas if it was the typical sales process, you know, oh my gosh, that guy just tried feel, felt, found on me. Oh my gosh, that guy tried, you know, he tried to close me with that alternative close, right? And it's like some of those you're like, oh my gosh, none of us want to be closed. Like we want to buy, we want to win. And that's what today is all about is how do you win? Everywhere you go across this country, we are seeing multiple offer situations. And the problem is that with a multiple offer situation, only one buyer can win, only one. So you have to present such a perfect package so that your buyer wins. And there's nothing, have you ever had to call your buyer the day after they didn't get it? There were 12 offers. They went 20 grand over asking price. They threw in everything but their firstborn and they had some thoughts on that. And yet they didn't get the property. I've had it. Like that stinks. That's the worst. I want to win. Today, you're going to find out how to win in negotiations. How do you win in multiple offer situations? Or at the very least, Dan Baltzer is going to put you in a position where, guess what? You have the best chance to win, which is all we can do, right? So Dan Baltzer is a licensed real estate agent out of Coon Rapids, Minnesota. He is also a certified referral trainer with a wealth of experience leading teams of small, large, medium size. And he's also famous for, like last year's Referral Mastery Summit, throwing amazing client events that are truly wows. He wowed our group right off the bat with his movie theater experience that drew 650 people to the first one and over 1,000 to his second movie event. Okay, that's a wow. Dan Baltzer, welcome to the Weekly Wow. How you doing, brother?
Doing well. Hey, man. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Awesome. Well, everybody out there, this is my friendly reminder for you to start a watch party. You do it by simply going up to the three dots in the upper right-hand corner. Click on those dots. It will say share, and then you can do share, and then it clicks how do you want to share? Where do you want to share? You don't want to share in the Generosity Generation. I'm already sharing here. So go share somewhere else. But here's the truth is share in your Facebook group, even if your Facebook group is Crown Point, Indiana, even if your Facebook group is, you know, moms who love sports, whatever it may be, share it. It's good content. It's great content. It adds value. You can have conversations around it later. And it also says that you're a realtor or you're a lender. You're in the real estate business. So the other thing too is start your watch party now, and I will tell you that they will thank you later. So here's the thing. Dan, let's talk about fast-moving real estate markets and multiple offers. Like, you know, I know that a lot of people are seeing it around the country. How often are you seeing it in your market?
Oh, quite a bit. We're just like anywhere else. It doesn't last long. The only thing that's happening for us a little bit seasonally is instead of it being in multiple offers in the first 10 minutes, it's now day 4, but for whatever reason, everyone offers on day 4.
Wow. So I see it, right? So the listing agents are actually withholding all offers for a couple of days to gather all of them?
No, it's more like everyone went out for the weekend, right? They didn't see it on Wednesday. Okay, well, we all went and saw it on Friday.
Yeah. Of course, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So talk us through that, right? And I have to tell you, I've seen your stuff already. I've seen what you've written, and I mean, you've come up with like 21 different ways to think about the offer in a way that will help people win. Is that correct? 21? Is it still 21, or are you still adding to it?
We're at 23.
23. That's right.
23.
So Michael Jordan would be happy with you. So 23 ways to win in multiple offer situations, and you're going to be kind enough to share some of those with us here today. So walk us through some things that we can do to ensure that our client is the one that wins, right?
Gotcha. Okay. So cool. And we definitely can do that. For most of it is going to be term based, but there are about 7-ish that are actually agent behavior based, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are things that you can do as
Wow, love that.
to help position, right? Nothing is guarantees. And what gets really powerful though is when you start thinking about, hey, I'm going to take these actions, which we'll talk about, plus and work in those terms, and you start mixing and matching in different combinations these 23 to match whatever is for the offer to position it. And not any one of the 23 is highest price.
Wow.
So
wait, what?
Yeah.
Are you saying that one of the ways that you can't win, or one of the ways not to win, is to have the highest price? Are you saying that that's not one of the ways to win?
That's not one of the ones on my list, because anyone can do. I mean, that's right. So it's how to be the best offer. Right? When you call for multiple, call for highest and best. Well, be the best. Don't have to be the highest.
Wow, that's a wow. And so, it usually, right, it boils down to time and money, and closing on the seller's date, and giving them an offer, above what they're asking or above what everybody else is trying to get.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some agent-based behaviors that we can do and use to help our offer be the best offer, not necessarily the highest offer?
Fantastic. The first two are actually mission critical, and because it sets up your ability to execute the rest of the other 21. And you should be actually doing this with your client and talking to them about it during your buyer's consult, or the first time you're writing an offer. That's fine, describing it to them, but walking them through this. But you need to learn what is their ZOPA. It's an acronym. You like acronyms? ZOPA. What is their zone of potential agreement? Okay.
And this is for the buyers, right?
Yep,
so we're in the buyer's consultation, and we're just like, hey, listen, you said 450 to 500. Is that really 525? Like, what push comes to shove? Where do you want to be?
Yep.
Right.
And then reconfirm it per house.
Yeah.
Right. So, we just saw 1, 2, 3, 4 street. We're going to get to, we'll talk about strategy, but you learn you're in multiples. All right, dear buyer, at what point, what's your zone that you're agreeable to?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is important to know ahead of time, because you're actually going to set in their mind so that you don't get blamed later on some things. But what are you willing to go to on all the different terms?
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
And because you say whatever that is, let's just, for your example, 500. All right. So if you tell me it's 510, you're willing to pay 510. That means at 511, you are perfectly happy to
lose the property.
Move on, which goes on to the next thing you need to know, which is your BATNA, your best alternative to a negotiated agreement, which is in real estate. Now that's good to have in any negotiations, your BATNA. What's the best alternative? In real estate, it really is your walk away, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to define that up front.
Yeah.
And have that understood with them. So if you are perfectly happy at 511, we don't get it for 511, using your example, we're good.
Yeah.
We're actually content. That is beyond what we want to do or capable of. Sometimes, you got to eat some of those things, but we are content and beyond that. We did everything we could and we can move on. Right?
Yeah.
You need to find that every time.
I tell you, I love that. And it's interesting, right? Because in a calm setting of a buyer's consultation, you go through the scenario and you talk about it. Well, what you're doing is you're setting up expectations, you're setting up the conversation, you're letting them know they might be in multiple offer situations, which is part of what I kind of consider that nuclear case scenario or worst case scenario kind of element. And then if you go into a property and you're not in a multiple offer situation, they're like, oh, good. So that's first. But then if they go into a multiple offer situation, they're not, deers in the headlight, right? Deer in the headlight. They are ready for it. They've had the conversation. And even though you and I both know that they say 511 in the buyer's consultation, when the bullets are flying and the emotions are high and mama says, I want this house no matter what, all of a sudden 511 becomes 525. But it's one of those where you've readied them for that conversation. They're mentally ready to win the multiple offer situation. And that's great coaching, Dan. That's just great business and professionalism, is to give people the nuclear case scenarios, So what's another great agent behavior or agent thing that we can do to win these multiple offer situations?
Sure. And of course, I'm assuming everyone, when you say, hey, I'm going to write an offer, you're talking offers, you're not actually doing it in the house.
Yeah.
Right. Because with the way technology of video and audio that can be recorded, you don't tip your hand. So if your clients ever start talking about their desired interest and they're in the property, cut it off. You'll do that in the driveway.
Listen, that's huge today. That is a huge thing today. Listen, when you're in a home, just assume you're being recorded. And if there's, if somebody has to take medication or whatever like that, trust me, the medicine cabinet is on video. So it's one of those where, like, there was a agent in Kansas City recently where she was actually caught taking narcotics out of a medicine cabinet. And it was like the stupidest thing ever, because it's like there was a camera, like literally right up and behind the door. And just like, she didn't even see it because it was behind her. But, it's one of those where just assume that when you go in the house that you are being recorded on video and by audio. And honestly, why wouldn't the seller do that? If it can give them an advantage, but also they could chalk it up to safety and security as well.
Yeah. And even if there's rules or regs about what you can or can't record, blah, 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 just assume it is. All right. So anyway,
it can't be admissible in court and all that jazz, but it's one of those where, it's happening, and it's happening more often. So.
All right. So back to our behavior.
Yeah.
Once you have an interest, is at least in my market, I think almost every market, there's a feedback form or what. Somehow let the seller know, let the listing agent know that you're done with the showing, and get the seller home. It's okay to return home. Do that, because you're going to start creating an impression or an experience that you, and then of course your buyers, are providing to the seller. So that's a quick, easy one to get it, to accomplish, right? Even indicating you have an interest, that's fine. But hey, if you're free to come home, beautiful home, come enjoy your evening, and perhaps we'll be speaking again or something like that, right?
Yeah, I love it. Communication is a pretty big thing, isn't it?
Yes, it definitely is. And then this isn't one of the 7, but here's how I use communication in anything with real estate: is emails meant to send a file or to document a verbal conversation. Mm-hmm. Text is for coordination and confirmation. Mm-hmm. Meet you at 123 4th Street and a time. Anything else is too dynamic for text, and there's a conversation. So now you need to get the other agent involved, right? Mm-hmm. And then for those who are having difficulties, whether the agent doesn't want to get on the phone, whatever, there is your nugget. Fantastic. And menu close them, does now or whatever. Too dynamic for text, 13-second conversation over lengthy emails, and just get them on the phone.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you get the offer. Here's the next thing you can do. You get information, or you get feedback that says, hey, Dan, or hey, Michael, just so you know, it looks like I had 5 other showings today. We're going to be in multiple offers. We're calling for highest and best and such and such and so and so. Ask this question. Okay. This is an agent behavior. Ask this question: what will it take for your sellers to only deal with us? I call it seller name your price.
Love that.
Just ask them. Right? Yeah. They're going to be, most of them, they're going to be floored. I don't know. So fantastic. Go talk to your sellers. Ask them what it will take. Okay. Now pause. You've already in the driveway, shortly before you said, dear seller, come home. Dear client, what's your zone? Mm-hmm. So I already know the zone. It's 5 to 520, right? We're at 500. I'm willing to go to 525, whatever the example we just gave, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're going to call back, and you're going to get them on the phone. Great. Easier than conversation and text. Call back. You know what? Sellers say 519. If you know it's in their zone, you can get done. Mm-hmm. I'll have the paperwork to you in 2 minutes. You don't have to go back. You don't have to say, let me check with my buyers. You want to
Yeah.
keep that momentum going.
Yeah.
So asking that question, and what I call it seller name your price, because ultimately that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
But your job is to help your clients win the house they want. Doesn't have to drive the price down, although we're going to do some of that. We aren't going to spend money that we don't have or something like that,
Right.
but it's win the house you want.
Yeah.
So, what will it take? Just deal with us, stay focused on us and here, because we're going to make it work. What will it take? And if it's within
so say
the
that one more time, because I think people need to write that down. They need to take notes of that. That's a really powerful, like, imagination script. Like, really get them in the mode of, hey, it's us. What would it take? Right?
Yeah, exactly. What would it name your price?
Love it.
Okay. Now, another thing to do in these conversations, and this is another one of those tactics. So if you want to break it down step by step or different things we're offering here, is appeal to the other agent. I call it make you look good.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, dear, so Michael, you're a listing agent. Hey, Michael, I want to make you look good to your sellers. What is it going to take, or what's important to you, and start exploring. So not only do you have the seller name and price, you are exploring then. So here's another action. You are exploring what are the specific wins that the seller should have.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Everyone's going to say price, and I even cut that off. I say, hey, price is what everyone says. Is there anything else that is really going to be attractive to your seller because I want you to look good?
Right. Don't say anything about the refrigerator in their garage, right? or don't include the dog, right?
Right.
Yeah. So but have you seen this where it does just come down to time and money? Right. I mean, if somebody's willing to do 525 and the perfect date for the seller, what you're saying here is that everybody's doing 525 and the perfect closing for the seller. And then here are 23 other ways to win.
To pull ahead. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love that. I will tell you right now that you can win a lot of these by being nice. Like being nice, like what Dan is talking about is being willing to have the other agent look like the boss and look like the power player, and then communication, and just saying, here's the thing. Do you want to work with a jerk for 30 to 60 days? The answer is no. But do you want to work with somebody who is very accommodating, very responsive, very helpful, very, kind? The answer is yes. This doesn't mean giving away the farm. This doesn't mean giving away any fiduciary duty to your client. But what it does mean is communicate in a way that shows that it's collaborative instead of competitive. If you're going to bring ego to the table, you're going to lose every time. But if you're there truly to serve your client's best interest, then asking things like, listen, how can I make you look good to your sellers? I mean, you're going to look pretty good anyway, getting overpriced and getting closing date, but that's how all these look. So how can we make it look even better? How can we make this, feel it better, and that kind of thing? So I love it. So that's so the communication to the buyers, the communication to the agent, and then even communicating with the agent to let them know, hey, listen, our showing's up and your seller's fine to return is fantastic. What's another way that we can win in a multiple offer situation? I feel like I could literally ask that for like 23 days. You have a lot of great strategy here. This is awesome.
Fantastic. So just thinking, going through my list here. Here's one I really doing is all my troops, we want to win to get this rep. So I get everybody involved and I don't know how common this is where you do it. I do it all the time I do it for every offer, whether multiples or not. I get my lender to call a listing agent.
So the lender is calling the listing agent. So your buyer's lender is calling the listing agent to do what?
Hey, I've already seen this. Here's the update. They're rock solid. I've verified assets. I've already done all this work. They are rock solid. And then hopefully you partner with a lender that has additional value, and then they can describe what their value proposition is, et cetera. Right now, one of them
close on time, 100% of the time.
And and one of the, so we're not giving all the tricks away because we're doing that at RMS.
Oh, wait, what? You're speaking at Referral Mastery Summit? Now that's a freaking wow. Are you kidding me? So referralmasterysummit.com, enter the code WOW, W-O-W, but you have to enter that in lowercase. Referralmasterysummit.com. It's below my picture here. But Dan is speaking, and he is giving away his secrets on how to win these multiple offer situations. And I will tell you 2 or 3, maybe even 5 that he didn't share that I've heard already from his overview they're gonna be a wow. They're gonna knock you out. They're gonna wow your buyers, and wowed buyers, you know what they do? They refer you. They refer you. Guess what? That's how it works. I'm telling you, this is a huge solution in the current marketplace, Dan, because there's nothing more frustrating than losing out on 3 or 4 or 5 properties, and the agent tends to get frustrated and throw up their hands and give up that it only is coming down to price and date. And the fact of the matter, excuse me, the fact of the matter is that there are other ways to win.
Exactly. Right.
And look good. It's like it's like if you only have 2 tools in your tool belt and the tools aren't working, you're not working. And guess what? If you have 23 more tools in your tool belt, you've got a variety of things that you can do. I have to tell you, the proactive communication in the buyer's consultation, everybody should write that down and put it in immediately, because if they don't have multiple offer situations, they're going to love you. If they do have multiple offer situations, they're still going to like you because they're prepared for it. It's like buyer's remorse. Sherry is selling her parents' house, and the agents made an offer, or they came in, they made an offer, and she's in a really good position because it's the only house like it in the area, and there's no inventory, and it's really nice. And the people are getting a really, I think a good deal. And so they got it. And then afterwards, they're like, well, it looks like the daughter may not like one of the rooms. And it's like, but here's the thing. Why did that happen? The buyer's agent did not prepare the buyer for buyer's remorse. Let me tell you something. In today's marketplace, buyer's remorse is stronger and more aggressive than it's ever been. There's nothing like buyer's remorse when you wanted to pay $510, you paid $525, you gave away your inspection, you gave away your appraisal contingency, you gave away the farm. The next day, you feel like you got beat up. You have buyer's remorse. You're like, oh my God, did I pay too much? Did I give too much up? That's the factor in the market. You've got to prepare your buyers for buyer's remorse. They're going to experience it in today's market, and they're going to experience maybe losing. They may experience losing. We need to let them know that they may not get the property of their dreams. Well, guess what? It's not their property of their dreams. We're going to go find a better property that will be the property of their dreams. So,
yeah, the one you're meant to have.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Right.
So I love this. You've given 5, 6, 7 here today, and you have 16 more to give at Referral Mastery Summit. Can you give us a sneak preview of like what you're going to do at Referral Mastery Summit and your session? Is it the same title? Is it Be the Reason Your Buyer's Offer Wins? How to win in multiple offer situations?
It's in there. We can keep it there, or it's also strengthening your offer without weakening your buyer's position. Because ultimately, the example you just gave, they gave away the inspection clause. I don't do that. I don't weaken my buyer's position. I strengthen the offer.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Never give up
inspection. Never give up. Come on. It's the one thing you just don't give up. Now, you could pre-negotiate a repair type of scenario, right? But honestly, I'll just be point blank with people. We've had it where we said, the max repairs will be 500 or 1,000. And then it just turns out that there's more that needs to be needed or whatever. And the seller is willing to do it because they have a buyer that's on, that's going to close. So I love the lender getting involved and calling and just saying, listen, I know you may be considering cash offers. This person might be better than cash, because this person's so strong financially. I've already gone through it. I can't give you any details or credit scores or anything like that, but I can just tell you that you can put this next to a cash and feel just as secure with it.
Yeah. On your topic of the appraisal inspection, or not the appraisal, the inspection clause repairs, flip it the other way. that the buyer shall cover the first X number of dollars. I mean, there you're saying anyway, but that's just speaking.
No. I think we need to talk about that, Dan. I 100% agree. Is buyers will cover the first $500 in repairs from the inspection report, and it's like I love that. They love that, and it's like they were going to do it anyway. So it's not like you gave them up. And I will tell you another little negotiation strategy that has worked is when you now this might be controversial. So if your broker doesn't like this, then don't do it. How about that? That's my disclaimer. And whatever you hear on here is not representative of what Dan Baltzer says to do. I just want you to know that from me. So here's the thing. Go in when you make your offer. In the additional terms and conditions or inclusions, you put their refrigerator in the garage, their patio furniture and all that. And it's like, oh my gosh, you can't do that. That's not real property. Yes, you can do that. And then when the negotiation plays out, they come back with a counteroffer, like you actually let them buy their own stuff back. So what happens is you're like, all right, but okay, so you don't want us to give us the fridge, you don't want to give us the fridge in the garage, and you don't want to okay, so we'll give you $225 instead of $230. How's that sound? Right? So it's like you're giving up something, but what you've done is you've really given up their stuff that they
for a lesser price.
Yeah. So washer, dryer, it's all on the table, baby.
Yeah. So,
everything but the dog. I have negotiated a dog into a deal.
I have not done the dog. That is amazing. Oh, wow.
Story. Military deal, military move. It was very interesting.
No doubt.
They talked to the sellers and it was just, they could only take one dog and they had two dogs, and the buyers, buyers wanted the dog. So guess
that's amazing.
What? Buyers got the dog.
Amazing. So in your generosity generation world and 7L world, you have your agents, or you describe your agents to create a sheet of preferred vendors, and you have a specific name for that, which is what?
Well, vendors we love, or we have a lot of names for it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's one thing that you can get creative is turn that loose on behalf of the people you're buying from.
Explain that.
Okay. Let's just say you have a carpet cleaner in there, right?
Yep.
Great. We'll clean the carpets of the house you're going to go buy next, your seller.
Oh, there you go.
And you're using your referral source. You're using your partner, your vendors, whoever, who maybe you're getting a discount price. I don't know whether you ever negotiate, right?
Yeah.
But hey, we'll take care of that.
Yeah. OMG. Using
turn your referral
contacts.
network.
Yeah. Using your contacts into a weapon. You're weaponizing your network. I love that, because I'll tell you a great example in Kansas City would have been move, right? Is I have a great friend who is a mover, and it's like, if they're only moving across town, we'll take care of the move for you. And I know that he would work with me on like moving everything, and he would do a great job and everything else. And that's a weapon.
He's getting two moves out of it, because he's moving your buyer clients in and he's moving their stuff out. So now it's going to be out, because you can hey, are you scheduled? We're scheduled. So yeah, take your sphere, your database, whatever.
I have a moving truck, Dan. Yeah. I've never used it as part of negotiations. I have a freaking 15-foot moving truck logoed up. There'd be nothing better than having them load the listing agent's stuff into my truck to take to the other. You know what? It's like, hey, take that sign. No, I'll take care of the sign. I'll take care of the listing. I'll make sure the listing agent gets it back. You don't want to take that with you to your house. So it's one of those where that's a genius idea. I love that. Quit giving all your ideas now. They'll never sign up for referral mastery.
No, I think we have, 17 left.
At least. And here's what's really good. I think like half the people from the Generosity Generation Facebook group are going to Referral Mastery Summit, which I love. I love it.
So where's the other half?
So they
are. Other half?
they don't care about their clients, Dan. They're not customer service oriented. They're not generous. They're not appreciative. They're not loving. You know what? They're in here to spy on us. That's it.
There you go.
They're here to learn how to coach in their other group. Oh, wow. Did he just say that out loud? Yep. Hi, you know who I'm talking to. So I think it's awesome. So I will tell you that I love this stuff. This has been a phenomenal weekly wow, lots of wows, 6 or 7 wows in a row. And I hope people take it to heart. I hope they implement it and put it into play. I'm not sure if this isn't one of the most practical weekly wow or daily doses we've ever done. So Dan, I just want to say I appreciate you and thank you. That's awesome.
You're most welcome. I'm here to help and here to serve. So anytime.
Yeah, awesome. I hope the rest of you consider referralmasterysummit.com. You can use the code WOW to get $200 off. And I will tell you, that's $200 off the regular price. And if you do that package, which is the ambassador package, you will get all of the recordings too. So you get to choose 12 breakouts, 12, right? 4 each day, 3 days. But we're going to record over 40 breakout sessions when it's all said and done. And guess what? You're going to get all of them. When you are done, you will have the best referral library at your fingertips in the history of the world. And I'm not joking. I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. It's not hyperbole. Impressive. You are going, I mean, here's the thing, right? I'm about ready to go into passion mode, but it's like, here's the thing. When we did Referral Mastery Summit in Atlanta last year, it sold out. So there were people who wanted to go who could not go. There were people who could not fly or would not fly and couldn't make it to Atlanta or were busy. Here's the other thing. We had people who we wanted to speak at, or they wanted to speak at Referral Mastery Summit, who could not speak because of whatever reason, because it was in Atlanta, travel and everything else. But here's the thing. Referral Mastery Summit is online. Everybody we wanted to speak is speaking, period. So that's awesome. Everybody who wants to attend this can attend this. So it's one of those where I have to tell you, when I first thought we were going online, I was disappointed because I love to hug Nan. I love to hug everybody in the generosity generation. And it was such a magical event last year, full of love. And I knew we were going to miss out on that a little bit. But the benefits of this are off the charts as far as like, who can watch this? Does your broker need to know about this? I think they do. I think every real estate agent in America should attend this session. Now, that's not it. I think every lender should attend. I think every entrepreneur should attend. I think every business owner should attend. It's one of those where it's Referral Mastery Summit. It's not kid stuff. This is for real. So, Dan, anything to add to that?
No, you nailed it, man. It's definitely going to be worth being at the event. It's practical. It's stuff like this that's going to help instantly have an impact in your business. It could be your very next deal, your very next thing, or your very next one-on-one. You move in some of these things you're going to learn, and bang, you have an impact.
I love it. Dan Baltzer out of Coon Rapids, Minnesota. He's a certified referral trainer. He is speaking at Referral Mastery Summit. I hope you all can join us. Join us at referralmasterysummit.com. Use the code WOW, and we will see you there. I appreciate everybody. I hope that you were wowed today by the weekly WOW Words of Wisdom. Thanks, everybody.